It's Monday, October 27th, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by FanDuel. Hope you guys all had a great weekend. Monday morning, ready to get back into things, ready to get back into the swing of things. Fun weekend, tons to talk about in college football, tons to talk about in the NFL, World Series as well. Sports Equinox Day, one of the greatest days of the year. Before we get into the show, I want to hear what you guys have to say about Sunday. I feel like this is what's always fresh on my mind coming into these Monday shows. Absolute carnage again in Survivor. Luckily enough, I was on the Patriots, so I survived. And if you're in Circus Survivor, there's only 2,000 people left. I'm one of the lucky few. Really excited to get in from the show. Ernie, watching us all the way from Kansas City. We're going to be talking about that Kansas City game later today. We have a great show for you today on the docket. I'm your host, Jace Cooper, alongside my producer, Media Mike, in the background. And we've got a great show. A little bit of interesting stuff, a little bit of flying by the seat of our pants today because we were going to have on Corbie Craig off the hop, talking college football, reacting to week 9, reacting to the week that was. Pips is going to come on, talk NBA. And then our third spot. Unfortunately, Anthony couldn't make it. Let us know a couple minutes before the show started. So we're going to be flying by the seat of our pants. Rob might come and join us. Hitman might come and join us. Or it might just be me talking us through this Monday night football game. Regardless, appreciate you guys joining the show. Before we get started, do us a huge favor. Smash that like button. Goes a long way for us here on the channel. And if you're new to the channel as well, hit the subscribe button. If you don't want to subscribe just yet, if you're like, I don't want my subscription feed piled up with this new channel that I've never heard of before, stick around for the whole show. I feel like you'll want to subscribe after you watch the entire show. I see more chatters. Marcus from Iceland. We got people from Kansas City, got people from Canada, got people from Iceland, all over the world watching the Hammer Daily here today. Before we get into today's show, just want to quickly remind you, every Tuesday and Thursdays, you guys asked, we listened. Edgework Overtime, 1 p.m. Eastern Time here on the Hammer Daily. Exclusively on the Hammer Daily, we'll be live with So Money, Alex, Matt Albert, maybe some other special guests as well, just to talk the full slate of hockey. All these Tuesdays and Thursdays are usually loaded with hockey games in the NHL, so we're going to run through every single game, talk about what we like, sides, totals, props, all that kind of stuff. You guys asked for it. We listened. So you guys should be tuning in if you enjoy hockey. But yeah, got a great show for you guys today. Mike, are you still in Survivors, or are you unfortunately out?
No, I'm out. I had Arizona Cardinals when they lost to Tennessee, so that's 2 weeks old now. But overall, it's been a good football season so far.
Great football season. I'm excited to talk football today. Are you a college football guy or not?
No? College football is not my realm at all.
That's all good. It's hard to balance both. It's hard to balance both. It's two of 7 days of the week are taken up from just those two sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Hit the Books is a good show. It helps me. My knowledge gets better watching Hit the Books, but obviously I'm more of a football guy, NFL.
Yeah.
Green Bay Packers won last night, so
Big
Aaron
win.
Rodgers will not be beating all 32 teams this year.
Big win for your Green Bay Packers.
Absolutely.
Huge. Great game. Great Sunday night show. National Tight End Day was yesterday as well. It feels like it gets more and more. Last year it felt like it was pretty big. Saw a lot of tight end score. This year it felt like it was a lot worse. I don't have the exact numbers, but I was talking with Hitman, who kind of had some, I don't want to say, who kind of tracked this stuff for us. And if he's on maybe a little bit later, we can talk to him about it. But it seems like if you were to just blind bet, which you should never do this, by the way. If you were to blind bet all the overs for tight ends and then to score an anytime touchdown, I think you're pretty underwater. Touchdowns, not too bad. But yeah, if you're betting overs, definitely don't be doing that.
One in the chat if you took Jake Ferguson yesterday.
Oh my gosh, that's tough. He was the goose from Ferguson is tough, especially Dallas putting up a goose is just Dallas and Ferguson putting up a goose, crazy stuff. Anyways, let's get into our first segment of the day. We're going to talk some college football with our friend Corbie. Before we get into things, last week was rough. He moved in. He had to move all week into his new place. Moves in and just gets absolutely crushed on Saturday. But things are looking up. He spread his sage through the room. He did a little bit of a prayer circle, a little bit of I think maybe he saw a psychic as well to just kind of get rid of the bad vibes. 7-2 this week. What a week for Corbie. He's a part of Better Odds. He's a big college football fan. He's about to join us right now. Corbie, how's it going, my friend? I think you're muted, Corbie. Give us a second here to check on your end. You're good?
Now he's muted. Unmute yourself.
Give us a second here, Corbie.
talk.
All right, we'll get this sorted out in just a second. No worries here, but really happy for Corbie because, like, again, anytime you have a terrible week in college football, it just feels like the worst thing ever. Oh, there we go. We fixed it. All right, how's it going, Mr. 7-2? How's it going?
It was Corbie. That's okay.
It's all good. That stuff happens. Don't worry about it. But yeah, how you feeling? Good week this week. How does it feel?
Saged up, but now, Jason, we have another variable in the mix.
Uh-oh.
I haven't had my car in 2 months. I have been stuck in my house for 2 months. I got it on Wednesday. So is the car good luck? Who knows? So maybe we're back. Hopefully it doesn't break down again, or we might see if it's bad luck.
No more U-Hauls for you then, I see, which is one of your plus EV moves of the not of the week, but like
it's an all-time move, I will say. It's a good one. I get some crazy looks driving around a U-Haul, but $19 a day, like that's the easiest bet in history.
Incredible stuff. All right, let's dive into the college football slate and talk about what we kind of saw last week. It's crazy. There's only like 4 or 5 more weeks. Really, most teams only have 4 games left on the season. We're about to close things out. I look at my calendar this morning. I'm like, how the fuck is it October 27th? How are we almost in November? Like, where has the time gone? It's been a fun season nonetheless, though. Let's talk about this week in particular, though. You were right about a lot of things at 7-2, but is there anything you take a look at and say, I was wrong about this one thing? And then on the other side of the coin, did you take like a big stand in week 9 and be like, yes, I nailed this one?
Yeah, I would say there's a couple things. Last week, I think we talked about Texas, like this buy low of like inevitably Sarkisian is a good offensive mind, and Arch Manning can't be that bad. I would say that's probably wrong. I got really lucky. I had the 6.5. If you saw how that game ended, I actually stopped watching when they were down 20 in the fourth quarter. Came back and it was overtime. I was like, hell yeah, dude. So when you go 7-2, you got to have a little bit of luck. So I would say I was wrong on Texas. This is not a buy low. This team kind of stinks. I know you put in the pre-show that maybe this team is better without Arch Manning. I wouldn't go as far as say that, but I will say like that touchdown pass to end the game was an incredible pass, incredible catch. Oh my god! But yeah, I would say probably wrong on Texas. Let's see what I have them power rated now. I actually saw this morning my offensive number. What would you guess, just watching the Texas game, what would you guess the ranking for Texas's offense is? I'll give you a hint. It's outside the top 30 for me.
Oh, I was going to say like around 25 range. So like, I don't know. You gave me a good hint. Let's say like 40, 39, 38-ish, 30, 35 to 40?
43.
Okay,
43,
wow.
Which is like, I saw it this morning. I was like, okay, they're not that bad. And then you go look at like all the EPA per play, like they kind of seem that bad. So crazy numbers. You expected Texas to be. I think they started the season second on my. That's a complete guess, but I believe they were second power rating offensively. So that's probably the downside one, and the upside one, Ole Miss. I don't understand why people week after week think this Ole Miss team is bad. Like I bet the over in that game. It closed. So I bet over 54. It closed 52, and the entire time it was going down, I was like, okay, well, whoever's on the other side is wrong. Like I don't really care. Like this team is going to play into the 60s, and they did. They won outright as a dog. So I mean I make Ole Miss 10th in the nation, and I at 10, like that's me being generous to. I think my number has been a little too high for some time, so I try to bring it down. But like I mean, this is legitimately a top 6 or 7 team in the nation.
Yeah, the Ole Miss looks really good. Lane Kiffin, it's just like week after week, he proves people wrong, and he just has that it factor, that aura, that like I don't know how he does it, but like he just comes in every week and proves people wrong. Go ahead.
This is a good point of like I've been hearing all these jobs opening up. They're like Lane Kiffin to Florida, Lane Kiffin to where I think that he should not leave. I don't know what it is about those baby blues. The Ole Miss like aura, the hottie toddy, like it just fits Lane Kiffin so well. Like he's just always the guy no one wants to like. Ole Miss is just kind of that like I don't know. It just fits his vibe. I think he is an Ole Miss guy through and through, and he's gonna look at the other job offers. But like,
of course,
I think it just fits. Like you watch Ole Miss and like everyone wants to hate him, and Lane Kiffin is like, hate me, that's fine. I will talk crap the entire time. So I think the fit is perfect. It's like similar to like Brian Kelly. Like Brian Kelly was an awful pickup like for LSU. Everyone knew it day one. It just didn't fit like the vibe of LSU. Lane Kiffin, even if he has a bad season, fits Ole Miss's vibe. And that's like such an important part of football. So I think he needs to stay forever. We'll see how it goes.
I love that. Stay forever. Well, you talked about Brian Kelly here, and that's kind of the first thing I wanted to talk about with you when we talked about kind of reactions to last week. We saw him fired from the position at the Louisiana State University. LSU's job is like maybe like one of the biggest in the country, definitely a lot bigger than the Florida job. Probably going to be the most coveted head coaching opening out there for a lot of these guys. Anyone in your mind kind of that you could see land there? We knew this Brian Kelly thing was going to be, I don't want to say we knew it was going to be a disaster from day one, but there was a lot of skeptics out there. It didn't seem like the right fit for Louisiana. It didn't seem like a head coach who could like fit in with the culture of Louisiana. He didn't really embrace the like Louisiana itself. Like he didn't embody that, if that makes any sense. But yeah, anyone you see landing there, and how would they approach this end of the season and into the offseason?
Yeah, again, I think that was probably an okay firing. But if it was, and that's strictly off vibe, like if it was based off result, like again, don't pay the $50 million buyout, just buy a better team. Like $50 million is going to get you the best college football team in the nation. So I still think all of these head coaching firings are crazy. The most insane answer would be me to tell you Nick Saban, go back to his LSU roots. That would just be, honestly, it would be incredible. It's not going to happen. He doesn't like the NIL, but there's a few openings that like interest me. I would say like a Clark Lee, the Vandy coach, has made something, and would he fit in LSU? I could see it. Like he's built like a scrappy, hard-nosed team. I could see it. Dillingham from Utah. Like I could see a lot of these things fitting up. So the Utah coach is probably the one who I would say is at current the best coach in the nation, like available to go to other schools. A blank check at Florida is where I imagine he goes, though. Yeah,
that makes perfect sense there. Let's flip over. You mentioned, I want to touch on Texas for a little bit here. I know I'm kind of maybe looking too far ahead in terms of this Texas quarterback situation. Arch Manning's probably definitely not declaring for the draft after the year he has had, or I doubt he would. I don't know what his agent would advise him to do, but like, where do they go from here? Like, do we know? First of all, concussion for Arch Manning, so we don't really know his status for next week. I don't know as much about the college football injury stuff, but usually in the NFL, if we see a concussion, they're usually out for 1 week. So that means Matthew Caldwell is likely to start. What is the quarterback solution, though, looking ahead to next year for this Texas Longhorns? I know we're looking way far ahead, but is there a quarterback solution there? Do you think they stick with what they got? What do you make of? And also, Caldwell versus Manning. We only got to see a little bit of Caldwell here. Do you think that it's like an upgrade? Do you have it as an upgrade?
No, I don't. As much fun as it would be to say, I do not. I'm one of these like parachute bettors, meaning like if somebody falls off the cliff, I usually think they're a little higher up than they have actually fallen. You like that analogy? I just made that up off the dome.
Yeah, that's solid. We gotta start adding that into like the sports betting dictionary, like the lingo. That's a great one.
I find myself doing it often, and like, I'm one of these guys who thinks like, scouts, team advisors are always going to be probably smarter than us. Yes. And Arch Manning, decorated player, chosen starting quarterback, like fought time with Quinn Ewers up. Like inevitably, I think he's still pretty decent. And then you look at Matthew Caldwell, played at Troy, Jacksonville State, and Gardner-Webb. Like there's been no, I don't know. And is it the right way to do it? But no, but is it from like a blind basis, pretty easy way to be like, he's probably not better than Arch Manning. If I had to guess, Texas does this really easy thing next season. And they just grab $10 million, Jason, and they go to whatever college they want to and say, hey, you're our quarterback now. So there's some really good quarterbacks out. No, I've seen this conversation of North Texas's quarterback. I don't even want to try to say his name. The coach is the same coach that like has brought up like all of these quarterbacks from no name to stardom, and now he's been just going crazy at North Texas. I believe I have North Texas maybe over Texas in my offensive power ratings. Way over Texas in my offensive power ratings. So this is a kid who was like not even recruited. So there's definitely pieces around. It's just how much money does Texas want to spend, or can they get a coach who can bring a player? So like if they get Dillingham, does he bring Dampier? And like Dampier is a great quarterback. So
it'll be interesting to see. Drew Mestamaker is his name.
Yeah, Mestamaker. I didn't want to try to say it.
Hopefully I said it correctly. I don't know. I'm pretty bad with pronunciations. If you've heard of my Kyle Jusic of the San Francisco 49ers. I think everyone tells me I pronounce it wrong, but
sounds right to me, man. The amount of names I could tell you is almost zero. So you talked about having this issue between college football and the NFL, and now try college football and college basketball.
Oh my God, yeah, that's
they overlap. We're what, 7 days out from college basketball? 6
Really?
days out from college basketball. So now you start getting some names in the 367 teams of college basketball. It's like, man, it gets rough. So I go on podcasts and I knew how to say the quarterback for North Texas' name, but I would rather just not even attempt it because that means I have to attempt it in the future, and I would rather just start at 0 and then you're a happy guy.
Exactly. You're free rolling yourself by doing that. Excited to talk. Listen, college football season's coming to the end. College basketball. I know you love college basketball. You're a big college basketball player. Excited to get into that with you because March Madness is my favorite time of the year. And I'm not usually into college basketball before March Madness. But with the nature of this show, I'm going to have to be. So I'm excited to have you guide me through the college basketball season. I cannot wait.
You're going to have a blast.
I cannot wait. Couple more questions for you before you head out here. I asked you about Georgia Tech last week. I'm going to ask you again this week. Is it time to admit they are the real deal? I'm sure your numbers are still lower on them. I'm going to guess they're not even a top 20 team in your rankings. But listen, they've proved everyone wrong week after week after week. And I know they haven't had the hardest schedule. They haven't had the biggest marquee victories here. But what they're doing is pretty impressive. They've been not massive underdogs in a lot of these wins, but they've been relatively underdogs in some of these games, and they've been able to pull out win after win after win after win, being undefeated. Do you think they are the real deal?
Yeah, last week I talked about Georgia Tech tickets to go undefeated. 4 weeks ago, we did a college playoff preview, and I had Georgia Tech in, and it was like some just absurd. I think it was 12.5 to 1. So, I would say I'm bullish on this idea that Haynes King is the real deal. He's also somebody that's really hard to put a true number on because it's one of those things. Like he's just, and I hate to use just the most degen sounding breakdown of this, but Haynes King is a dog. Like he figures out a way to win, and like that is not using a EPA per play. That's not using an analytic anything. As you said, I have Georgia Tech 25th in the nation. Like this isn't a team who, on paper, scares you at all, but they have a quarterback who we've seen for years at this point will quite literally break bones to win a football game. So that's what you have to have. Do I think that they went out? I don't. I do have some Georgia Tech to go undefeated tickets from last week, so I hope they do. Let's see. I'll pull up their schedule real quick. I have them. So where are we at? Week 10. They play NC State this week. I have them basically a touchdown versus NC State. I don't even know what that line is. I haven't looked yet. I have them crushing Boston College, smacking around Pitt, touchdown again. So, I mean, we could very easily get to the last game of the season undefeated, where they play Georgia. And again, like I think this number is smaller than people probably think. You could probably see look aheads on FanDuel at this point, but I make this less than a touchdown for Georgia. So the odds that they go undefeated aren't as crazy as people probably think.
Also, again, like I think we talked about this exact situation last week, where you can like kind of mechanically, if you like them last week, mechanically parlay them to this Georgia game, and then you kind of have the position to like hedge out if you want, or like not just choose not to play that Georgia game. So yeah, there's very interesting ways to go about it. You mentioned Haynes King. I have this metric that I came up with. It has nothing to do with any numbers in particular. It's called Dog Factor, DAWG. Definitely awesome with grit, and he like fits all the bill of that factor. So he's a 10 out of 10
It's
for me.
either him or Pavia have to be number one. I would assume he's one. I'm still not the biggest Pavia guy, but anybody who has to have their team go and make like a Heisman campaign for him, it rubs me wrong. I feel like Haynes King's the kind of guy that just wouldn't even show up to the ceremony. He's like, I'm not here for a Heisman. I'm just here to win football games.
I want to raise the trophy at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the number one dog of the year. So I'm for it. It's like the Barstool Blake of the year, good dog of the year, and it has to be Haynes King.
Honestly,
he played injured last year, Jason. I don't know if you remember these games. He was like fully hurt, and he's like, he literally like in an interview, they're like, "Are you fine?" He's like, "No, I'm not fine, but I'm not playing. I can tell you that." So he's great. If someone hates Haynes King, I would be blown away.
All right, maybe I got to start doing this on Twitter. You know how Big Cat does his NFL rankings? I got to start doing dog quarterback rankings. Could be a fun thing to do. That's about it. That's all our time we got. Corbie, appreciate you coming on. Check out Corbie on Twitter. Link in the description down below. We'll chat next week. Yeah, go ahead.
I got one more thing for you.
Go for it.
It's not football related. Tonight, and it only comes up because you know where you're at and you know where I'm at. Your boys are going to get smoked.
Get this guy out of here.
Tyler Glass now on the mound. Dodgers, look at this. Stay for a second.
Okay, let's see this. I will say, game one, is that a Glass now signed bat or is that Ohtani?
Shohei Ohtani signed bat. The boys are getting it done tonight. Toronto, you had a fun 1 win. We let you score some extra runs. We put in the worst of the worst. We gave you a couple runs, make you feel good. Because if the Dodgers just swept, everyone would be like, "Oh, we got to fix the cap. We got to fix all these things. Just give them 11 runs and then let's make this ugly." So Glass now goes crazy tonight. Dodgers get the dub.
It's all right. I believe by this time next week, we're gonna know who would have won the World Series. So maybe we got to I'll text you about this after. Maybe we got to do a little side bet for somebody to wear on that show. Okay, I love that.
I'm down.
I love that. Corbie, appreciate you. We'll talk soon. See ya. Awesome stuff there from Corbie. I freaking love having him on the show. He's hilarious. Such good energy. Good vibes. Such good vibes. All right, before we head into our next guest here, before we bring on Pips, who I know the chat is going to be going crazy about, just want to give you a quick shout out to our sponsors over at FanDuel. The Ultimate Baseball Showdown is here with a grueling playoff battle. But the World Series is happening, and FanDuel wants you to be a part of the victory with boosted winnings potential. Check this out. Right now, all customers can score big with a profit boost to use on any bet on the World Series. All you got to do is make a wager, apply the boost, and if it hits, you'll get that extra winnings at no extra cost. And with FanDuel, you know there's a ton of markets to choose from, including who's hitting a home run, total runs scored, strikeouts, and so much more. Plus, when you win, FanDuel will pay you instantly. Me personally, I'm going to look at that money line, plus 172. Give me the Blue Jays. No breakdown here. I just want the Blue Jays to win. Simple as that. Apply that boost, and I'm ready to go. So if you're ready, you got to play your game. Just visit FanDuel.com/forward progress to get in on the action. Just visit FanDuel.com/forward progress to claim your profit boost on any World Series bet. Swing for the fences with FanDuel, an official partner of the NFL. Please play responsibly. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, 19 plus and physically located in Ontario, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit rghelp.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-HOPE-NY or text HOPE NY in New York. Call Connex Ontario 1-866-531-2600 or visit connexontario.ca. All right. Chat, you know him, you love him. He's an NBA props originator, co-founder of Props Madness, big NBA prop better. Pips NBA. How's it going, Pips?
Hey, man. Going great. Second week of the season. First week went great for me. Not great on the show.
Yeah.
Not terrible either. So, yeah, yeah.
I think I don't have the numbers in front of me. I'm pretty sure we juiced out on the show last week where I think we were even, and you know what, sometimes the juice will get you. I also saw on that first big slate on, was it the Tuesday or the Wednesday? I think it was the Wednesday where you had like 50 prop bets or whatever. You were able to be up. So that's always good to see. Before we get into like the talk of some props today and breaking down tonight's games, let's have like a little State of the Union after week one. Any massive takeaways from you from this previous week from a betting perspective?
Scoring is up a lot. Most teams starting to play like kind of switch defense and switching 1-4 and playing drop coverage at 5. So star players are getting a ton of single coverage, and we've seen 3 50-point games so far, ton of 40 plus points games. Officiating is crazy. Like we've seen Austin Reeves 22 free throws, Shea also like 20 plus. A ton of crazy officiating, but scoring is up, trend is up. So we'll see how that changes during the season. But so far, overs have been heavy favorites so far.
Yeah, and have you seen that reflective in the totals of NBA games, or is this just more so like at a player level you're seeing this? Or
both. I think 70% of the games went over. if you exclude overtime. With overtime, even more.
Mm-hmm.
And players, mostly star players, are hitting overs. Probably 60s, around 60% so far. So yeah, it's been heavily over, but maybe by mid-week 2, like 3 to 4, when everyone plays 3 to 4 games, lines will adjust. So then there will be some inflated lines to bet on unders and so on and so on, like usual stuff.
Okay. Yeah. There's yeah, pretty crazy. I saw a lot of the overs. I think it was on for the first 2 games, or sorry, the first 2 days of the NBA season. I think there was only 2 games that didn't go over, so it was 12 of 14 that flew over. One more question before we get into the props. How concerned are you about this Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups situation? We haven't been able to talk about it just yet. Are you worried about it affecting like prop limits at all? Are you worried about like the availability of certain props? Like, is that something that's been on your mind at all?
Yeah, not much. When you see players making statement and then in the corner is sponsored by Caesar, sponsored by FanDuel, like so much money out there. I mean, everyone dunked a Jaylen Brown statement with good reason. Like he's like saying
we haven't.
the players don't.
Yes.
Yeah, the players don't get any benefits of it. Like that's absolutely madness. He'll earn like half the money he's earning now if there were not sportsbook involved. So yeah, it's absolutely crazy. They don't even understand that people, like 50% of viewers probably comes from people betting and trying to look the games they have bets on. So yeah, it's crazy. It's a very stupid statement, like not self-aware. Like it's crazy, but yeah, I don't think there is any chance for anything crazy because everyone loses money in that case, and capitalism is still strong.
I think I agree with that take as well. I was a little worried just in terms of like, because we saw the Adam Silver stuff a little bit earlier before this whole indictment happened, where he talked about maybe limiting the prop. But I think this is all just theater, so that it makes it seem like they're doing something, but really, hopefully, nothing does change. All right, let's dive into the games. You sent me a couple of prop bets. We're going to lead off with one over in Memphis at Golden State. Golden State Warriors right now minus 320 on the money line, minus 8.5 point favorites. Total 239.5. Like we talked about, these totals are starting to get a little bit more inflated game over game. You wanted to talk about Jonathan Kuminga, so have the floor. Let's hear it.
Oh yeah, so the first one is Jonathan Kuminga, a player I've not been high last couple of seasons. I've had like, I think I almost like a viral tweet, not viral, but like it got a ton of attention when I trashed Kuminga IQ. But seems like he improved as a player. He looked great so far. He's starting, getting big minutes. 33 minutes game 1. 36 in game 2, even though it was on overtime. And last game, he played 24 minutes in a huge blowout. So he was on pace to play like 30, 32. So in those minutes, this line does look a bit low. We're betting on over 8.5 rebounds and assists. Minus 122 on FanDuel. Some better numbers out there, but yeah. So last game, huge blowout loss against the Portland, who doesn't allow many rebounds and assists. And in a loss, so less rebounding chances, less assist chances since they lost. And he ended up with 11 rebounds and assists. First game of the season opener against Lakers, 15 rebounds and assists combined. Only under came against the Denver when he had 8, but he had 13 rebounding chances and 7 potential assists. So it's 21 total rebounding chances and potential assists. 21. Usually when he gets those numbers, he's expected to have 11 or 12 rebounds and assists. So he was on pace to cover in that game as well, just the poor variance on the rebounding and conversion of potential assist. So yeah, Pacers dead last against his position in rebounds and assists. Overall, horrible rebounding team as always. Overall, horrible assist team as always. Like they are allowing ton of stuff. They run high pace, and we'll say Jaren Jackson Jr. probably gets the Raymond Green matchup or Horford. I don't know, but probably Raymond Green. So Jaren Jackson operates outside on perimeter. Will pull out Raymond Green. Then Kuminga, probably a weak side defender, will get ton of chances to get rebounds, and also attacking the glass on the offensive side, where Jaren Jackson is probably, for his size, the worst rebounder in probably like so in the league. Yes, for sure, the worst one, and one of the worst in the history. So yeah, plenty of chances there.
All right, Kuminga hopefully can take advantage of that matchup advantage for himself there. Like you mentioned, minus 122 over at FanDuel. But there's plus monies out there on the over 8.5 if you look around. So make sure you look around and shop around. We always recommend to shop around here on this show. Let's stick with this Memphis game. You have another prop you like. It's on the other side of the ball, though, for Memphis. John Morant, you like his assist number. Talk us through it here.
Yeah, so this one is kind of weird because against Miami, I bet he's under 7.5 assists. Then I watched the game and I was like praying entire game for a blowout because every single shot Memphis attempted, it was on his assist. Like it was insane. But they lost by 32 and he only played 22 minutes and got up to 6 assists. So it was crazy. Like it was a crazy game. I made a horrible bet. Looking at the numbers, it was the great bet. Projections were on my side. But then after I watched the game, like they don't have much creation. It's all like almost every possession shot is made or created by John Morant. And when we look at the Golden State so far this season, they allow fifth most assists. Drew Holiday, 11 assists. Jamal Murray, 10 assists. Austin Reeves, 9 assists. All three of these guys had 5.5 lines for assist and covered it by double amount. Crazy stuff so far from Golden State. And then last game against the Pacers, another blowout, another short minutes. Ja Morant had 8 assists on 15 potential assists against Pacers who don't allow many assists. So now gets better matchup. And probably this game should be like the spread is 8.5. But if Ja is playing, if Jaren Jackson is playing, Wells is playing, I think Memphis can stick around. And then if he gets normal minutes, he should cover this line.
Okay. Line is 6.5 right there. Best price I see in market is available at FanDuel. It's minus 128. There's minus 130 is pretty widely available across the board at the over 6.5 there. So you're gonna want to scoop those up if you end up missing that FanDuel number of 128. One more pick you have in play here. We're gonna head over to the Boston New Orleans Pelicans game. You have an SGP for us. I love when you cook up these SGPs. I will say, I tried to tell you about those pesky Raptors against the Hawks last week, but it was a good showing from the boys. It was a good showing from the Raptors, so they look good.
Yeah, definitely. That was insane. I would say insane how Hawks played in that game. Like not running back on defense, got destroyed in transition, and yeah, it was super crazy game. On this one. I'm heavily leaning into Derek White because first off, back-to-back game, lost 3 in a row. Jaylen Brown could be out. So then the sky is the limit for Derek White. Matchup is super soft for all the categories. The Pelicans don't have any rim protection. That they are missing 4 starting bigs. Like crazy matchup for them. First off, I'll just say, so far this season, Derek White has been horrible. Like shooting wise, his numbers are way below what they are going to. The variance will start going his way. For example, last game against the Pistons, he had 13 potential assists and ended up only with 3 assists. Similar thing happened in the first 2 games where he had 9 and 10 and only cover. Like so far of the season, he averaged 11 potential assists a game and only 3.7 assists. That's crazy. Like he usually gets like conversion of 60%. So he is looking at those numbers, he was expected to have like almost 6 assist average throughout the first. So expecting some regression there. So we are going to. I'll first say what's the bet. Bet is Derek White, 15 plus points, 4 plus rebounds, 4 plus assists. It was 1 plus 120 when I last checked.
Plus
probably
Plus 103 right now on FanDuel. 15 plus points, 4 plus assists, and 4 plus rebounds. Do I have that right? 4 plus assists, 4 plus rebounds.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it now, and it's a plus 118. 118 for me. I don't
okay.
know.
No, I put it in wrong. I had Jaylen Brown instead of Derek White. That would honestly, you know what? That might be a problem. That might be a problem. Yeah, you're correct here. Little bit better there for Derek White.
Yeah, now plus
118.
So
yeah.
first, I already talk about assist, and I think Pelicans matchup is way above average in assists. And if Jaylen Brown is playing, he gets covered by Herb Jones. They don't have bigs, so whenever someone drives to the paint, they need to collapse. There will be plenty of targets to hit with driving kicks and stuff. So, second part of this is rebounding. Not Tatum, no bigs this season. His numbers from rebounds should skyrocket. The last game he played against the Pistons, he had 4 rebounds. But check this, on 17 rebounding chances. 4 rebounds on 17 chances is something I actually don't remember ever seeing for a player that low conversion rate. And still covered this line that we bet on, even though he didn't convert. So he was expected to have like 8 rebounds that game. Game before against the Knicks, 4 rebounds on 10 rebounding chances. So the chances are there. I think he'll rebound better tonight. Points wise, he is just horrible. Started horrible shooting and still covered in all 3 games. Shot below 35% in all 3 games, which is something not typical for Derek White. Though with a higher low this season, he will regress in some some efficiency will come down a bit, but still, Pelicans. He scores most of his points as a pick and roll ball handler. They are one of the worst teams against that. They allow 3rd most free throws. They will allow plenty of spot up in this game. Horrible rim protection. So, I think this is I'm looking at like 25, 6 and 6 probably game for Derek White tonight. So going with this.
Yeah, and then if Jaylen Brown's out as well, massive boost for us here in terms of getting a good price on this. So Derek White, 15 plus points, 4 plus rebounds, and 4 plus assists. Any last words? Any last thoughts before you head out here? Anything you want to mention about maybe today's slate of games? Any opinions you have you want to touch on?
Yeah, I mean, so far this is we are day 6, day 7 of the season, and every single game has someone questionable, someone in full slate NBA is back. So it was difficult to find a bet that doesn't have any players questionable for this. I usually, when I'm betting on games that has questionable players that will probably be out, I look to do some bigger semi-game parlays for stuff earlier this season when Hunter was questionable for the Cleveland. I did almost entire wings from the bench overs, and it went really well. So this is one of the ways you can when there is a 50-50 chance player is playing, you usually want to have bigger returns in the case when he's out.
Of course, that's a great way to look at it, because I've honestly, personally, this is someone who just again, I'm not the biggest NBA ball knowledge knower, but I try and follow the NBA, and this has been my struggle the last year of I bet props, but how do I take advantages of SGPs? And I think that's a great way to do it is to take that injury route.
And also make your account look better.
Of course,
a bunch of single parlays.
Yeah, which is why I appreciate your parlays, and I was always playing them last year on pick and roll, and I'm going to continue to play them this year as well. Pips, I appreciate you joining the show today. We'll chat soon.
See ya. Bye, guys.
All right, appreciate it. People in the chat, of course, always loving Pips. Go follow him on Twitter at PipsNBA. Absolute legend. Before we get into our next guest, who, we were talking injuries before. This guy is such a scumbag. He loves every single injury under the sun. He roots for guys to get hurt every single week. Before we do that, though, I just want to give a quick reminder about our newsletter. Injuries happen all the time in the NFL. If you want to stay on top of things, you're going to want to check out our Monday newsletter. Not only just injuries, though. We have takeaways from the NFL, early leans and thoughts on the NHL, courtesy of Alex Morendo. We also have our Wednesday newsletter, which gives you the kind of the first look at practice reports from every single NFL team, plus some EV props courtesy of BetStamp. So much more as well. And then finally on Friday, we have Kirk's Hammer, who he usually writes about things that he's observed as a from the perspective of a bettor, from things in the industry to just general opinions on the NBA, NFL, NHL, all those sorts of things. Things that have sort of helped him improve as a bettor. You can subscribe right now at thehammer.bet and never miss a single newsletter. All right. Let's bring on our next guest here. He's one of the best prop bettors I know. Loves rooting for injuries. And he's going to come break down this Monday Night Football game for us here. Hey, man, I really appreciate you because, listen, we had another guest scheduled here. Unfortunately, couldn't make it. Shout out to Hitman on the fly. Coming in, saying yes to doing this.
Look at me. My hair's all messy. My glasses are still on.
What does your glasses being on have anything to do with anything?
Yeah, you're right. I wear them off.
I was gonna say I don't recall you ever being on the show without your glasses on.
My contacts, yeah.
Oh,
all right. What's up, Jason?
How's it going? How are you feeling? How did you shoot on Saturday?
I shot an 82.
Okay, that's not good.
The game's gotten a little better from last week.
Okay, well, I thought you usually break 80s.
No. I'm down to a 9 now, so that means like a good day. Like my best day is usually like 80, 81.
Okay, all right. Well, enough golf talk here. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Monday Night Football game. Can we talk about off the hop your most recent release here, or?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe we can talk through it a little bit.
It doesn't have value, but anymore. But yeah,
numbers gone now. But maybe talk us through why you liked. You gave out Patrick Mahomes under 24.5 rushing yards. Usually for these primetime games, not that I tend to bet overs on rushing yards, but we sometimes see quarterbacks more willing to eject here. Obviously, such a massive spread. Is that what you were looking towards with this Mahomes under?
No, it's just mainly the handicap that I don't think Mahomes is going to be running as much now that he just doesn't have to. I mean, everyone just knows about Patrick Mahomes, like in playoff games when he has to run and it's high leverage, his numbers go up. In big games, he runs more, and just traditionally throughout his career in not as big games or games where he can just have a lot of success through the air, he's not going to really push the issue running the ball. So they have a really big game coming up again next week against Buffalo. Obviously massive favorites today. It's the best pass catching group that he's had in years. So I just thought that it was about time in regular season games and games as double digit favorites that we see maybe him to start to rush less. So that was pretty much the handicap on that one. I played it at 25.5, 24.5, and 23.5. I wouldn't, obviously right now it's ruined, but maybe there's some stale paperheads still out there. Maybe there's anything. Maybe it comes back at some point to like a playable number, which would be 23.5. Yeah,
there's some 23.5s out there, minus 110 towards the under. Some minus 125s out there as well. They're very selective. But yeah, if you can scoop up that minus 110. Also, 24.5 heavily juiced minus 155. I don't know if that might be too much. No. Okay. All right. Let's flip over, talk the other side of the ball, quarterback. Obviously, Mariota started this week. We've seen him a couple times this season. How do you feel like he's going to play? Is there any angles you like in terms of props? And how do you think this is going to affect the receiving core of now healthier receiving core of the Washington Commanders?
It's funny. His prop rushing number actually opened the same as Mahomes. They were both like 23.5, 24.5. And I did think that was a little ridiculous that they were the same, especially because Kansas City has been vulnerable to rushing quarterbacks this year. But I don't have many thoughts on his numbers, to be honest. As far as his pass catchers, my big homework today is to figure out what the third receiver spot is going to look like for Washington. Right now, I don't have a great feel, but as the day goes on, or in potentially live betting, it's a good angle that people could look for, I think, in this game. There's a few candidates. I mean, there's Jalen Lane, who is a little bit more of a speedy option for them. There's McCaffrey, which is more of a slot guy, and I kind of think probably not McCaffrey because I think Debo probably takes that role. And then there's Chris Moore as well, who has played outside receiver a lot for them, whereas Jalen Lane has rotated a lot between outside and inside. And there's Robbie Chosen, formerly known as Robbie Anderson, that he played pretty decent last week also. And then there's some talk about could Treylon Burks get elevated for this game? I really don't think Treylon Burks is getting elevated for it. But it's just another factor in this. So I think that the best market to take advantage of in this is to try to figure out who you like as that Washington or who you don't like as that Washington third pass catcher.
Yeah, right now on FanDuel, the only thing we have listed for outside of Debo Samuel, Terry McLaurin, and Zach Ertz is Jalen Lane. Obviously, the running backs are there as well. But yeah, Jalen Lane line right now at 9.5. I'm sure we're going to see more wide receivers open up as the day goes on.
The way FanDuel usually does it, and a lot of books do it, is like after the inactives come out, then a lot of times they'll put like the fourth, maybe the fifth guy up. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of looking towards later.
Yeah, it was interesting. I'm looking at the snap counts right now. Moore led the receivers, with snap counts at like 79%. I don't have, I wish I had slot numbers live. You would think the way that Terry McLaurin plays, the way that Debo Samuel plays, that third receiver spot for them, you'd want like more of a possession receiver instead of maybe like a speedy field stretcher like Lane or Robbie Chosen. But it's all a guessing game for us over here. I feel like we've had multiple Kansas City primetime games. We've talked through multiple Kansas City primetime games, and I've had the same question every single time. This running back room is kind of a mess. No one's really separated themselves, but we've heard some more talk about Brashard Smith and his ability and usage in this Kansas City offense. He feels like he's a better fit in terms of being a pass catcher out of the back and being more explosive than either Pacheco and Kareem Hunt in the receiving game. Do you think we could see some more Brashard Smith on the field this week, being more effective, especially in a game with such a large number?
Yeah, it's funny. Last week, Brashard Smith got so much garbage time work in the rushing department that I was looking forward to his openers on rushing yards, and I was thinking like, oh, well, maybe I'll get an inflated line on it. What did he have last week, Brashard Smith? I'm looking at real quick.
He had 39 rushing yards against the Raiders on 14 carries.
14 carries, right?
Yeah. His problem though is that he's too small to be
14 carries for 39 yards. And it kind of just made me think back to like 5-6 years ago where like all that was garbage time pretty much. And I was like, fuck, like if this was 5 years ago, like these books were so stupid at pricing this stuff, they probably would have put his number next week at like 20 yards of rushing or something. But I do see like some books have like 8.5 out there, which like honestly, it's so game script dependent in my opinion. Like they've shown that like if they are up a lot, he's going to get a lot of work. And that whole bet just comes down to if the Chiefs blow them out, I think he'll go over 8.5. If it's a close game, I like under 8.5. So maybe there's some SGP options.
Yeah,
with that.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's how I would approach Brashard Smith.
Tough to know right now, though. He's not listed under rushing props. He's only listed with receiving props over on FanDuel. There's spots out there, but yeah, market's like 8.5, 9.5. Maybe if he's posted for rushing props, you can like take a swing on him to like lead the game in rushing yards. Where,
I mean, if you did it, it would have to be again. I just think it's correlated with a Chiefs blowout.
I agree, and maybe that's how we work together in SGP on our show tonight, which you're going to want to tune into our Thursday night football watch along, which Hitman will be there. Also interesting as well for a guy not listed to have rushing props as a running back, but to be plus 280 to score a touchdown feels. I know there's blow up potential, and that's probably why, but feels a little too juicy there for my liking. Let's flip over and talk touchdown props every week.
Third string running back having better touchdown odds than like Terry McLaurin.
That's kind of crazy. By the way, Terry McLaurin, we're assuming full go, right? He's like struggled all year with this injury. Hasn't played at all. You'd assume so, right? Okay, because they held him up for so long. So, all right, let's go through and talk anytime touchdown scores. Anyone you like in particular towards the back of the board? Doesn't have to be. If there's anyone you like, just ask me for their odds, and I'll tell you right now. But yeah, like anyone you like in terms of touchdown scores, give me one for each team.
I'll tell you what I don't like.
Okay.
I don't like Travis Kelce.
Okay.
Minus 105.
Yeah.
Now, maybe there's a chance in like the pregame. I get like a little nugget. I hear something like, "Oh, Mahomes wants to get him a touchdown," and then I'll bet it, and I'll bet the hell out of it. But unless I hear that or something, I'm not betting Travis Kelce on tight ends week. I'd say, I'll give you one from just the Chiefs. You're not going to force me in the two, Jason.
Okay.
You could force me in the one.
Okay.
But Kareem Hunt plus 390. I mean, he still is the short yardage back for the Chiefs. And to be double the odds of Pacheco and 110 cents higher than Brashard Smith doesn't sound completely right to me. So I'd probably go Kareem Hunt if on forced touchdown play.
All right, love it. Forced touchdown play plus 390 over at FanDuel. You mentioned National Tight End Day, which was this whole thing. It is every year. Do you have any like information in terms of like how someone would have done if they just like kind of blanket bet everything? Which, like, by the way, never recommending on doing ever. But just out of curiosity, do you have any like information on that stuff?
I mean, listen, I don't recommend doing it. When you go to the bar at my clubhouse on Saturday and the bartender has an idea of what I do for a living, and he says to me, "Yeah, I bet all the tight ends to score a touchdown." And then when you have another friend of mine that doesn't bet, and he sent me a message, I'm just going to tell you what his play was. He sent me 4 plays, and he was like, "Could you bet these for me?" One of them was a $1 parlay to win $860,000 on Drew Sample, Blake Whiteheart, Jake Tongas, Kylan Granson, and Jack Stoll to score touchdowns.
1 of 5. That's still good.
When you have people like this that are doing this, like the edge is probably, if there is an edge, it's probably gone. Now, like incentive week is different. Like incentive week in week 18, when everybody's talking about it, you can still find value on stuff, in my opinion. You're not going to get stuff's going to be inflated, but sometimes it can still have value. This tight ends day shit, like if the numbers are inflated because of it, it's tough to bet this stuff unless you really hear something about a team wanting to get a guy in the end zone or something. But like I think Rob tweeted yesterday, some of these prices on some of these tight ends were just as low as they've been all year. So, and there's no price on any of this stuff. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't advise blindly playing any of that stuff.
All right. I had a feeling that's where you're going to go with things. Makes perfect sense there. I would obviously as well. Like I said off top, I don't recommend you do it. You probably shouldn't do it. So don't just blindly bet this sort of stuff. But hey, that guy was right with Jake Tongas. Like that, what was that? Probably like 4-1, 5-1.
No, it was.
It should be it should be higher than that in my opinion.
It was 12-1.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say. Okay, yeah, 12-1. That's there.
Yeah, well, he was wrong on the other 4.
On the other 4, yeah. Well, he for him that's
$1 parlay to win $850,000. You're gonna have to have a lot of stuff happen.
For him, that's probably a bad beat in his mind.
Yeah.
Anyways, before we head out here, I have like a little SGP that I built on the fly. You're gonna hate it. I already know, but I putting me onto that Kareem Hunt anytime touchdown score. I really like his 2+ touchdowns as well at 40-1. That just feels like way too long in a game where, again, like you said, it has potential to see fully blowout scenario. And maybe my logic is we can get like a blowout early on and we see Brashard Smith a lot and Kareem Hunt comes out of the game. So I'm going to parlay Kareem Hunt 2+ touchdowns with his under 18.5 rushing yards at 188-1. What do you rate that with the price, obviously, out of 10?
So wait, it's Hunt 2 touchdowns and Brashard Smith under?
No, Kareem Hunt under 18.5 rushing yards.
Oh, but 2+ touchdowns? Yeah. I don't know, Jason. I mean, it is taking advantage of what I said about just maybe he's just purely the short yardage back. So whatever. Have your fun, Jason.
I'm not asking you to tell me that fun. I'm asking you to rate it out of 10.
2.
2. All right.
3.
Sounds
3.
Okay. What if we were to do 1 touchdown and under 18.5 rushing yards, which would be around 11-1?
Yeah.
You like that one?
I'll give it a 4.
Oh my God. All right. Well, Hitman, appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you joining us last minute here. It means a lot for us. You're going to be on with us tonight, right?
I will be there. Listen, when you plug it, make sure you plug these live plays, Jason. We're running hot this year on them.
Yeah.
So.
And the best ones you've given out are the ones where I'm not there. So unfortunately tonight you're not going to be giving out your best ones. You're going to be giving out your like second or third best ones because.
And I know Rob has the over in the game tonight. I have the over.
Okay.
As well. So it'll be a fun sweat.
It'll be a lot of fun sweating. I'm going to have a lot of fun with it tonight live on the Forward Progress HQ YouTube channel, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, Washington Commanders, Kansas City Chiefs, live watch along. Hitman will be joining us in the fourth quarter. Hitman, thank you so much for joining us here today. We appreciate you. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
All right, awesome stuff here from the Hitman. That's why they call him the Hitman.
You sounded like Rob there.
Oh, God. I hate that. Don't. Ugh. Anyways, what do we have on the docket for tomorrow? Tomorrow we got Drew Dinsick coming on for – oh, yeah, we can talk about this too. What do we have on the docket for today? Live, 1 p.m. Eastern. Circle back. Right after this show, you'll be redirected there right away. Jacob's going to be there. Jeff is going to be there. You can probably hear Jeff right now. Rob's going to be there. Kirk's going to be there. Great show. You're not going to want to miss it. I've seen what they're talking about. They're going to talk about one.
Jeff's also going to be fired up because he's been away and missed a couple shows.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be great stuff from Jeff. Then, of course, hit the books. I'll be on as well with Brad Powers, Joey Kanish. I won't be on. I'll be behind the scenes, but they might rope me in, talk about some stuff there. And then finally, like I mentioned before, live watch along with Rob, with myself. Hitman will join us. Jeff might join us depending on how zooted he is in that third quarter. Appreciate you guys joining us today. Do us a favor. Smash that like button before you get on. And we talked about this earlier on the show. If you're new to the channel, this is your first time watching, you haven't subscribed yet, hopefully you're in your subscription. I thought today's show went incredible. Tomorrow we'll be live, 12 p.m., Eastern time, 12 noon Eastern. Drew Dinsick will be there. We'll be talking some NFL futures, maybe a little bit of NBA stuff as well. We'll have not 100% certain on who the guest is going to be this week, but we're going to have a MLB guest there, talk the World Series, recap Game 3, talk about Game 4 and Game 5. Rob will come on as well, give his early week looks, and talk about how the market's been moving in the NFL. And then finally, we close out with, you know what, you love it, Edgework Overtime. Moreto's going to be there. Albert's going to be there. I'm going to be there. We're going to be rolling through every single game on the NHL slate, talking through each one. So you're going to want to be there. Noon Eastern tomorrow. And guess what? We're live noon Eastern every Monday to Friday. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And last time before I ask, hit that like button as well before we head out. It goes a long way for us in the algorithm. I see you guys in the chat. Appreciate you being here. Ernie, Giovanni, E-Colt, all you guys. Pips in the chat as well. George, Anthony. See you guys. Thank you. Appreciate all the support. And that wraps up today. This has been the Monday, October 27 edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by FanDuel. We will see you guys right here tomorrow.